I ever had to do that, close your eyes and touch, I'd be laying on the ground.
I'll tell you what I lost this year. I lost depth perception to the side. I lost perception front and back before.
Really?
But now my perception's left to right is gone.
I just had new lenses put in here. I can see for thousands of miles. It's just unbelievable. Everything's
You
clear.
mean you had laser surgery?
No, it wasn't laser. They just peeled off the lens, stick a new one in there.
Is that new?
I never heard it referred to as anything other than lens replacement.
Wow.
And laser has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And it takes 10 minutes and it doesn't hurt
How
a
old are
bit.
you?
74.
Yeah. I wonder if there's an age, like even in laser, at my age, they don't recommend it.
Well, it depends on what kind of shape your eyes are in now. Sometimes they can deal with it with the lens. Other times it's other problems, and they either can't deal with it or have to do with it some other way.
Well, my husband's falling down
No.
It's not good.
from the MS.
Yeah, it's not good.
That's tough. Jeez.
And he went to the eye doctor because he wasn't seeing good. And they said there wasn't any more they could do.
All right, guys. It's just the four of us. I'm going to go ahead and open this meeting. This is the San Carlos Computer Club. I am Scott Stimson from International Computer Solutions here in San Carlos, Sonora, Mexico. We're broadcasting from Tequilas. Everything seems to be working. And we're having our regular Tuesday meeting of the San Carlos Computer Club. Welcome, all.
And I'm Gary.
This is Gary, Linda,
and
Irving. And Richard's with us too. He's our tech. He's been running around setting up cameras, and now he's out doing his cigarette
Sloughing
thing.
off now.
Yeah, he's sloughing off on the job. So this is the second meeting of this season.
Really?
Last week we had a
Oh, I
meeting.
didn't know.
I posted it on Facebook and on our website.
I was on the highway.
And Gary was driving.
I was on the highway last week.
Well, we had
I left home Monday morning and got here Thursday at noon.
we had a somewhat new member, not a new member to San Carlos, but a new member come and join us and ask some questions. She's got a new iPad and wanted some information. And James Redding was here. And so James, Linda, myself, and Richard had a good conversation, the four of us. In standard computer club style, we have no organization, agenda. I did bring some topics I thought were interesting, but I'm happy to hear anything that anybody would like to bring. It's been a long summer, and I haven't seen you guys in a long time.
Well, the only thing I wasn't thinking of addressing it here, but Linda's here. She's my guru, and maybe it's a TV-related thing that just came up. I don't know if you have any information on that. Would that fit into this?
Well, what TV type thing are you talking about?
Well, we had DirecTV for 15 years,
Right.
but they finally robbed me, so I dumped them, and I jumped over to Dish Network.
Okay.
So I set up my Dish Network in Alaska and Nevada, no problems. When I set it up in Nevada, they assured me I can bring it to Mexico as I travel.
Okay.
Got here, and I'm having trouble setting it up because I'm only picking up one satellite.
Because you only you need another dish or a bigger dish.
Well, I don't know. I ordered a part that Chavo thinks that may help the problem. But my question is, does anybody have Dish here? Are they successfully using Dish Network?
I don't use Dish, I use Fire Stick, and I get
Fire Stick.
Radiosity. That's what I
Okay.
get my television on. It's got all the sports you could ever want to be involved in.
Okay, Fire Stick. I have a Fire Stick thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but you need programming.
You have that one from Scott that
Yeah.
put it together so you could have.
No, I never used anybody. This I took from Alaska.
He has my IPTV.
I have
Oh, okay.
IPTV, which works. And I also have Dish, which has one satellite. And I also have Netflix, which is just my smart TV.
Sure.
So I'm not without TV. But I wanted the full complement of the Dish where I can record. You can't record with Fire Stick, can you?
Geez, I don't know. I
don't think so.
I haven't
Gosh.
tried recording in years.
I don't think so.
Well,
Yeah,
Since the days of VHS,
I
haven't
can
tried to record anything.
imagine a scenario where you could put together the right kinds of equipment where you could capture it,
I did
but
that.
it is not built to do that.
Yeah, no, I did that 20 years ago and I gave it away. But when when the, you know,
That is far from what they're trying to do with that
Well,
technology.
the IPTV, you can only record one channel, and it has to be on that channel
While you're recording it.
while you're recording it. So like if you're gonna go out for dinner and you
Yeah.
wanna record something, you can set it up.
so Fire Stick, you just shove it in the TV?
No.
There's, I believe it hooks up to an HDMI port.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I have an HDMI and I just shove it in,
Got to plug it in too.
and plug it in, okay, plug it
uses
in,
USB
shove it
charging
in.
power. Yeah.
Now I have to pay for programming?
Yep.
Well, yeah. Now, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you're allowed a catalog of programming, but none of it's live.
But you have to be Mexican Amazon
Well, I
Prime.
think I'm paying for it, I never use it, but I think I have
The
Mexican
one that
Prime.
you're supplying, does it have the networks? Live
Everything.
TV?
There is-
CNN.
Everything.
Yeah, she's right about the Mexican Prime. If you don't have Mexican Prime, then what you end up with is a small catalog of content that Amazon has made available to
Yeah.
U.S.
Well, that's
Amazon.
better than nothing.
Yeah,
And is that free?
that's free if you're a Prime member.
Well, I am a
I mean, it's not free
I'm
because you're
probably
paying
a
for
Prime
Prime.
member in both, but I haven't used.
If you are, you have a larger catalog because you've got the Mexican catalog.
What,
available to
American
you.
programming catalog in Mexico?
They're just like all these other services that have to license content legally. You would have whatever's available in Mexico.
That solves my problem. I don't mind rejoining or paying, so that's
It's
fine.
889 pesos. That's what makes it great down here.
It's
I
like-
have Mexican
yeah.
Prime.
I think I do also. I can
So-
check it, I guess. I'm pretty sure I have it. Every time I try to buy something, people tell me they're having success. Every time I buy something, they're charging me big, they're not delivering, or they're charging more for the product.
Well, then you've got regular American Prime.
No, I have Mexican Prime also.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. It says MX after, and it's all in Spanish.
Well, yeah, but well, it would just be a different fee. Like you pay for American Prime, it's like $110 a year, something like that, and you pay for Mexican Prime, and it's like
Didn't
$89.
even
Well, I
finish
paid-
mine. I was
Okay.
First I was a member, and then I dropped it because they never could find my address. I had to run to Guaymas and blah, blah, blah. I hear they've improved that now. I joined within the year, but again, every time I try to use it, I'm not satisfied with the service or the delivery. Amazon will deliver I can get stuff faster to Nogales than I can get to my house, even if they deliver.
That's really funny. I've had great experience getting stuff delivered here. I have a horrible Amazon story. You guys want to hear my horrible Amazon
Yeah.
story? I ended up getting stuck in Mesa for a few extra days after I got back from Alaska. I was just trying to find a ride home. I didn't want to take a bus because I always travel with so much equipment because of the kind of work I do that I just don't feel comfortable bringing it on the bus across the board. I'd much rather be in somebody's car. That's what it comes down to. And so I was sticking around, and while I was sticking around, I remembered I had to get a hold of some Chromebooks for my kids for school. And this is a great opportunity. I'm in Mesa. It's Phoenix, right? Like if you order anything in Amazon, there's a good chance you'll have it within 12 hours in Phoenix. It's a hub. And so sure enough, I find exactly the Chromebooks I want to buy for my kids. They're these beautiful Samsung V2 2-in-1. You flip it around like a tablet. Has a built-in stylus so they can use it for art. It's got 64 gigabytes of internal storage, and I mean, this is exactly the product that I want to get for my kids. And when I go to buy it, it gives me the option to do payments, which I thought was great. You could buy it outright, which if I did, I was going to put it right on a credit card, which was going to gather interest, or Amazon would let me write it with payments with no interest. And so I thought I had selected that option. I made the purchase, went to bed. It was going to show up that Monday. This is like a Friday. It was going to show up that Monday morning. Or no, that Tuesday morning. It was going to show up that Monday morning. It was going to show up that Monday morning. Or Monday evening, something like that. Anyway, the next day, I'm looking at it, and I didn't get the payment option in. And I'm like, geez, I should really find out what's going on with this, because it looks like I'm going to buy these outright. I'm going to have almost $1,000 on my credit card. Sure would prefer not to do that. And so I get a hold of Amazon through chat. and I start chatting with somebody, and I explain to him my situation. It's like, I've got this order. It's actually on the way. And I'm realizing now this isn't, what happened between Friday and Saturday is the order got updated to Sunday. So I'm expecting these laptops now the next day, the following day. No, by the time I'm chatting with them, I'm expecting the laptops that evening.
It was in routes, yeah.
Yeah, it was already in the truck,
Right.
right? They are in Mesa. They are being delivered. I'm dealing with this on the same day they're supposed to be delivered. That's the point of my story. And I'm talking to this person. I'm like, look, I got this order coming, but I don't see where I've been able to make this in payments. She's like, you're right. It's been purchased outright. Like, okay, but I want to figure out how I can make payments on this if I can, because that's what was offered to me. She's like, well, and she's digging in the system, and we're doing this through chat, so I'm only imagining what's happening on her end. And she comes back, she's like, okay, the only way that we could do this is to cancel the order and to reorder it with the payments. I'm like, this seems crazy that we would have to cancel the order. They're in a truck right now. I see them. They're about to be delivered. They'll probably be at my house in 4 hours. She's like, well, there's no other way to do it. I'm like, well, can you find out if I were to cancel the order and order them under payments, if they could get to me by tomorrow night, because that's when I need them. I can't be any later than tomorrow night because I'm leaving Tuesday morning. And she leaves and she comes back. She goes, I need to transfer you to somebody else that might be able to do this. And I don't remember which one of the people I was transferred to. It wasn't the first person, definitely wasn't the last person, but somebody between me, within the 7 people I was transferred to, one of them thought that I had to have the order canceled. And they canceled my order
Before you settled it.
Right, before they had found out if they could figure out the payments, they'd already canceled the order. And after the order is canceled, there was nothing they could do to get that order to my house.
Square one.
That's it.
The 7th person I talked to sent me a phone number. I mean, I went through like 5 people apologizing, right? And maybe this person can help you, passing me to a supervisor. And this is all on chat. And then the 7th person passed me a phone number, and I called the phone number, and they personally apologized. They had read through the transcripts. They could see where I had never asked for it to be canceled. This is a communication error on their side, and unfortunately, the way their system is set up, there's no way to recover from it. They have talked to the courier personally, like they called UPS or they called whoever the delivery team was, and there was nothing they could do because there was a check mark that it was being refused. That was the end of the delivery, and there was no way to change that delivery. And so it was now on its way back to where it originated.
Is this your horror story?
This is my horror story.
This is such a great story. What a great company Amazon is. The fact that they tried to help you, no other company in the world would have been apologized. I mean, this is fabulous service. You're looking at it the opposite the way I would look at it.
Well, no, I mean, I see your points.
It's unbelievable.
All of that is awesome. But it's also important to realize that the way their system is set up, they don't have much flexibility. I mean, it's all based on, like, I had a time agenda. So the only time the purchase mattered to me was that it could get to me within a certain...
They're the biggest company in the world. How could they possibly get down to such good individual service? Amazon is probably, the reason they're the biggest company in the world is they're the best company in the world. I've been trying to buy some equipment.
Hey, before you go on with that, this has not jaded me. I mean, I've already made a half a dozen other Amazon purchases since then.
That's good. Your story tells how great they are. They really try to help you. And it was your mistake, I assume. If it was their mistake...
Well, that's a point of contingency, because it was my mistake not to have gotten it ordered correctly, but they should not have canceled my order. And that was a communications problem.
Screwed up. Somebody screwed up.
Somebody screwed up.
Yeah, somebody screwed
But
up.
I think they're a great company, and I had to, there's so much hype on products you buy. I needed a good juicer. So I bought one juicer. It didn't work out. I bought the next juice. I'm talking about expensive. The last juicer cost me $580. Okay? It was a piece of junk.
Go to the store and buy juice.
Well, it was absolutely a piece of junk. And I both ones on Amazon, they immediately put the money back in my account. No questions asked. you got so much time to return it, and I mean, they're just fabulous. They never question returns.
Well, you know,
Well-
that's how Home Depot always was. You could return something to Home Depot. You could return it, even if you didn't have the packaging, you could return it. And
When
they
you
never
look at how
questioned it.
Costco behaves now in the United States,
that's a
Yeah.
business
I've
that's
watched
doing
my
this.
father return stuff he bought a year beforehand
And
that
what's
never
nice,
got used.
If you don't have the
Yeah.
receipt,
Yeah.
They got it in the computer, yeah.
and they can find it.
Yeah, no, Amazon's even though you can look for better prices along the internet, it pays to deal with them.
I'll give you another Amazon story that's kind of neat, and something to think about when you're returning stuff. I had bought some fake earbuds. They're not the Apple earbud, the wireless ones.
Yeah,
They were some
knockoffs.
Chinese knockoffs. They're
Uh-huh.
black instead of white.
How'd you make out?
I paid like $26 for them, and I mean they work for $26. I use these kinds of wireless earbuds all the time. I pay a maximum about $20 for them, and so I was almost that satisfied. What I didn't like about them is they had no controls on them except turn them on and turn them off.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you could take one out, turn it off, and just use one, right? So like you could.
Does that work good with all wireless earbuds?
Yeah, I've been really happy with this style of. I've got a couple other styles.
I've got one that I use at the gym when I'm
Mhm.
on the
Is it
bike.
any good?
What
Yeah,
is
I
it?
mean they last for about 4 to 8 hours straight.
Let's come.
The
What's it connected to? What's the source of it?
My phone,
Wireless, you have
it's
to set 'em
Bluetooth.
up, Bluetooth.
Yeah. But so these buds, I was having some issues with them, like I couldn't track how much battery life was in them, and I thought that was odd. And there was like
That's the ones I have, you can't track anything.
the way they work is you stick them in this powered box, and the box charges them.
Oh.
But there's no indicator on the box. There's lights on the box, but there's no indicator that they're being charged. And I'm like, I don't think this is working right. And so I get a hold of Amazon, and I talk to them on the phone, and we're going back and forth on it. And they're telling me that, well, it's supposed to be working. I'm checking with the manufacturer. And finally we reached a point where I had too much going on my end. I'm like, look, I'll just get back to you about it. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. I've been very happy with them. So so I'm like, look, I'll just get back to you with them. I'll play with them some more and see what happens. And I think they said, well, we can send you another pair. And so they sent me another pair.
Oh,
I'm getting my story out of order, but basically, I know what happened. When I got back to him, I was like, why am I returning these? It was asking me, why am I returning these? When I went to go return them, they were $6 cheaper than when I bought them. And so I put, the reason I'm returning these is because I found them for a better price. Right? It was within like a 30-day period or
yeah,
something.
uh-huh.
I'm like, well, who cares why I'm returning them? I'm returning them. And Amazon automatically calculated up, oh, well, then you're going to pay $6.95 for shipping to ship these back. I'm like, well, that's bullshit. And so I went in again and I said, send me a replacement, which they did for free. They sent me, assuming that these are bad, and they set me up to send these back for free. They gave me a post-it note. So I hung on to them until the other ones came in. The other ones acted and behaved exactly with the same kind of sketchiness the first ones did. I'm like, no, I'm sending both these back. And so I set that up for return for the same reason. They don't work. They got the same problem. Didn't charge me a thing, sent me the packing slips. I sent them both back at the same time, got refunded all the money. But because I had said, oh, well, I found them cheaper somewhere, they were going to charge me shipping on them.
Well, the ones I have just plug into USB.
To charge? Yeah,
Yeah,
these
easy.
plug into USB too.
I want to
Yeah,
know
that's
why
the
it's got my
easiest.
name on it.
Yeah, it just has a regular USB
Yeah,
charger
that's
there.
easy.
Yeah, I really got to like having the charging
So do they
box.
have a rechargeable battery within those things, or what?
Yeah, you plug them in with a USB,
Yeah, you just plug them into your computer and charge them up.
Okay.
just like
That's
you
like the
charge
ones
up
I
your
have.
cell phone.
And I don't
And
have the earpiece thing.
And
But-
where's the
Which is
indicator that
nicer.
tells you when it's charged and when it isn't?
well, there is a light that if I turn these on, that'll appear right here to let you know that
If
they're.
it's got power, that'll flash.
Yeah, so that'll be flash blue to say that it's
For his
connected,
coffee.
blue and red if it's disconnected.
Huh?
And then when you
No coffee.
when you
give me
connect
my
them to
bill,
charge,
when you give me my La Cuenta, charge me for his coffee.
ella está pagando mi café. ¿Y puedo tener un poco más café?
Linda, are you, when you going
So when
out
you
to the
when you
States?
plug them in,
On
then
Monday.
there's a light on them
Sunday, okay.
that shows red until they're charged, and then it shows.
So that will
Blue.
play music for you, and if the phone rings, you can answer it.
That's right.
Where's the mic that answers it?
There's a mic built into these, and so you're using a USB. I don't know where they're physically located. I could look at that.
Yeah.
Well, so when they're in your ears,
Closed for,
the mic that you're talking back to is also in your
Their summer
ear.
That's right.
cleanup.
Oh, they're not open yet.
No.
So
Do you know anyone?
I mean, yeah, that's very cool that we were talking about Bluetooth headphones, but my story was again about Amazon and the nuances of dealing with them to purchase things. If we go back to the Bluetooth headphones for a moment, though, I really liked the charging case. That really made a difference in that these I carry around my neck all the time,
Yeah.
right? They get caught on stuff. They get ripped
Yeah.
off my neck when I put a seatbelt on.
Uh-huh.
I've actually had a couple other styles that I thought dangled better and didn't get caught
Actually,
on
I just
stuff.
like the earphones that came with the phone. They've got the on and off thing right here and the volume, even though they're wired. like
I haven't
that
even
better.
gone that far. My phone sits there, and when it rings, I stick it to my ear.
Yes, you're on the internet somewhere.
Yes.
Say hello.
No, I haven't.
So get
advanced.
this Earthlink. I'm getting Earthlink in Green Valley.
Okay.
Not much better than here. 12 megabytes. That's all you get.
Is it satellite?
Can't
12
you get
megabytes?
Can't you try to get satellite over there, Linda? You should be able to get satellite over there.
Cox isn't much better, and they're way more money
Where is this?
in Green Valley.
In Green Valley?
Yeah.
You're on
so
the
12
internet
megabytes is
somewhere.
$45 a month.
Say hello.
Cox
Well,
is
I'm
like
gonna have to-
80 something dollars for a decent mount. I'm not paying that.
I'm gonna have to humble brag again, to let you know that I get 300 megabytes for telephone internet. And
Wow.
It's better.
holy smokes!
He's deaf.
Hello?
Are you over at
You ready?
Techline?
No, in Canada.
Oh, in Canada, yeah.
Tequilas, I'm lucky to get 6 megabytes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You're so close to the infrastructure. I'm just
Yeah, but
amazed
you
you wouldn't
know,
get better
Well, that
bandwidth.
was
What you
one of the
call-
reasons that Scott suggested I go down and pick up this other modem. He says there's a way better chance of getting better reception from it than the one that I have now.
Uh-huh.
The one that I have now is about that thick. It stands about that tall. It's got a row of lights down one edge of it.
Uh-huh.
Is this the
Yes.
cable modem or
I
the
have
DSL
the
modem?
old
I'm gonna
one.
have
Is
to
this
leave a
Telmex
little
or
early,
Mega?
folks.
Oh.
Good to see you.
Infinito.
Good to see
Betty's
you.
at Maru's. I'm gonna pick her up.
Okay, well, here's your stuff.
Oh, thank you, Linda.
Well, thanks for being here, Irving. We'll see you next week, I hope.
Holy Moses!
Yeah.
How many cars are you driving?
Believe me, I should be arrested for this. This is only one set.
You know, all that's to make it more convenient.
Let me pay my bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spend an
You don't
hour.
have to use any of those keys. You can just carry those fobs around with you. I should
So
get a
anyway,
picture of that
it's
fob.
12 megabytes is fine, really.
Sure.
I just can't have the two on my IPTV. I can't run the one in the bedroom and the one in the living room at the same time.
I've been told that that's the case.
Because the HD now
Yeah. I've been
takes
told
up
that.
too much.
Takes about 4.5 to 5 megs
Yeah,
for one.
so if you only have
Yeah.
12 and you've
Right.
got your laptops or your tablets going, then you don't have enough.
Yeah,
So-
when I fire up my laptop and go to just click on the browser to go to my email or something, the TV kind of blocks and stalls for 4 or 5 seconds. And so there's definitely a lapse there between the service you should be getting and what you are getting.
Uh-huh. You want- yeah.
Are we done?
No.
No.
No, we're just starting.
Okay,
It's
so
only
I have some
9:40.
questions.
Sure. What do you
Okay. Well, I just got a notice today, from my IPTV, and they were telling people if they gave us 2 DNSs to put in.
got? Oh, specific DNSs for your
Well,
IPTV?
the first one is the 8888. They
Okay, that's
gave, And
Google.
the second one is another one. No,
8844
it was a
9999.
20 something.
Oh, okay.
It's out in the car because I'm going to go up and see, because Jerry Anderson is having problems. He's had problems with mega cable. He has
Does he
the
still live
IPTV.
over that way someplace?
No, he lives on the Caracol.
Oh, does he?
And so I'm going to go up there. We're going to switch that and see.
Jerry lives on the Caracol?
Oh yeah, I bought a huge house sitting over the water.
Okay, because he used to
The
be
purple
over in
one is still
Monglaris,
for
right?
sale,
Oh,
the
okay,
purple
all right,
one.
all right.
And this house is purple too.
Hmm.
And there's another
Does it have
purple
an
house.
elevator?
No, this one doesn't have an elevator.
Wait.
Anyway, I'm gonna go to his house and we're gonna put in those, I put the DNSs in this morning, see if they're gonna be a little bit better. I'm not having any problem, but some, like the ones that have mega cable are having problems.
You know, the DNSs I'm using all the time are 1.1.1.1.
I know, but they specifically in the thing this morning,
Do you know anyone else who uses mega cable right now?
just him and Winnie Rock. And she's right by Telmex.
Yeah.
Right by Telmex, and she gets the prettiest. She was getting
On
the
mega-
most horrible reception. And you guys are pretty close, but you know,
I
what's her
had mega
name?
cable for 2 or
They
3
got the
years.
satellite over in Tequilas. It was worse than
Satellite.
Telmex.
I can't complain about my Telmex
Yeah, that
service right
TCL
now.
or whatever it's called.
When we got back, our phone line was out,
Uh-huh.
but our internet was up, and it's
Oh.
been strong this whole time. And I called and reported the phone line, and it was fixed within a couple of days. And we feel occasionally there's like this glitch, like a saturate, like people are using it all too much. But I'm consistently getting 8 to 10 megabits a second out there in the Ranchitos.
Oh, that's
Does
pretty
anybody,
good.
Yeah.
anybody who moves into a new place now, do they bother getting a landline anymore?
Oh, that's interesting. I think the only thing that prompts people these days is to get internet in their house.
I guess, well, there's other ways to get it.
Yeah, I'm
but that
not
would
getting
be-
a phone in Green Valley. We're just using ourselves.
I was just talking to a buddy of mine that's he's not in town right now, but his plan when he gets back is to go to Telcel and get one of those.
Those modems?
Yeah,
Yeah, but the problem is they aren't very good.
yeah. I think his area in the Ranchitos though just doesn't have great coverage.
Well, George got it. He has to have it sitting outside.
The
He has it-
Telcel.
Yeah, he has it sitting outside on a table underneath the overhang and everything, but he's got it sitting outside because he can't hardly get anything. But then I have a gal that lives in Solimar. Now, she sits up on that little bit of hill over the golf course. She was only getting on Telmex 1 point something. So
So
she
I
went
got
to the
last year.
satellite. She went to that TCL or T.
Yeah, you're
whatever.
reminding me. I did not even tell him about that TSC or
Oh,
TCS.
Oh, yeah, TCS. So she went to that, and it's much better.
Who was
I-
responsible for that in Tequilas?
What's her name? Oh,
Elena?
God, no. She plays cards. I see her face. But anyway, they're over near the, one row from the wall, where Jim and Terry live, across the street.
Jim Terry.
Yeah. Jim and Terry. Twibble. They built a new house there last year. It's one street over from the wall. So you got the
That would
wall,
be-
the street, and they're on the next street. And she's right across from them. Anyway, they wound up taking it out. They didn't do anything. But I'm not sure. They don't have very good customer service, I
And
will
that was
tell
from
you.
Well, they're not
Telcel?
here all
No,
the time,
it's
right?
from that
They-
satellite
they-
company.
So it had nothing to do with Telmex.
They still
No.
don't have a representative that's here all the time, right?
No.
So it's from Hermosillo, so you have to deal with them remotely,
Yeah.
and then they come help you when they're in town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so which isn't good.
But they do have good service. I've seen their service.
Yeah, but-
I've seen it compared to X-Pro's service, and it's a better service than
problem is,
X-Pro's service.
The problem is, if something happened, like we had a storm, well then the satellite, because it's sitting out there, the satellite got knocked off, you know.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah,
You're talking about
you
this
do.
TCS.
And then she had to wait, yeah.
Yeah, for them to get to
wait
town.
and wait. She didn't have any TV.
Right.
That's a problem. And,
Well, right now I get about 6, last time I checked it, I got about 6 megabytes And I really haven't tried using both my TVs, because one in the bedroom I only use when I'm in bed.
Yeah,
There's
that's.
no reason to turn it on at any other time.
That's a, but knock on wood, I still have the old little Telmex router. It works just fine.
Yeah, we haven't had a reason to upgrade ours for a long time.
I've got one of those that takes your electrical line and you plug that into the other end, and it boosts the signal somehow. I don't even know
Oh,
the
you've got a
technology
range,
of it.
range extender that you're
Yeah.
using.
I have a range extender in the living room. It
And it
works
works
just
fine,
fine.
I've got an old school range extender in my office out in the trailer. It's a DDWRT it's a
I
repeater.
have one of those too,
Yeah.
and it's sitting in a box.
You must have a closet full of gold gadgets.
Oh my God, I got so many old
And you
gadgets.
know Roy's back.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool.
You know where he moved?
No.
Over by your buddy that rides the bike. I
Right.
think he's over there somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Right there in there.
Well, didn't he used to live in Tequilas, right?
No. He lived where the real estate office is.
Well, is he still doing the TV stuff? The south of the border TV stuff?
No, not really.
No?
No, he just has a web. He has a web thing. He sends out stuff. He's got his books.
Oh, that's
my
right.
God, there's thousands of books. And
I've-
all you have to do is join his group. and
You know,
get
you're
all the
making me
free
realize
books.
that I have not gotten any up. I was in his group for a long time. I haven't gotten an update from that group forever now. But yeah, you're right. There was a whole bunch of
Oh
books.
my God,
Yeah.
Bill reads his books all the time.
Yeah.
And so we have, I think there's like 75 people in the group. And he gets every New York Times bestseller. He gets every one of those books that came out about the president.
Yeah.
He had them the next day, you know. And
Must be more interested than I am.
so, but anyway, he's going to start his meetings up, but the problem is he's going to start them up on Thursday morning. And we do our breakfast, go to breakfast with our friends, and I'm not quitting that. Going to breakfast with my friends.
I had to talk to him. Maybe I had to show up for his Thursday meetings. I could go in and record him, put him on our stream.
Talk to him.
Yeah. If you see him before I do, just mention that I
Just
obviously not
email
a
him.
flushed out idea, but
Just email him.
Yeah.
You probably have his email,
I probably do.
so.
I'll look for it. If I have trouble communicating with him, I'll contact you. I'm sure
Yeah.
you've got a way to communicate with
Yeah,
him. But that might be an interesting thing to do, is just go attend his meeting, and I could be a bystander and make a recording of it if he'd like that.
Yeah. You
That'd be
can.
fun.
I noticed when the sign up there has an apostrophe between the A and the S, whereas when you log into the service here, you have no apostrophe. It's
Right.
Yeah.
AS.
That's an aesthetic choice on the password that I made when I set it up for these guys.
But I wondered what the real name. That must be the way that it's actually registered in somebody's book somewhere.
Well, you know what's interesting is you don't even use that for possessiveness in Spanish.
Oh, they don't use apostrophe S?
No.
Oh.
No, and that's part of the confusion, is that that's a totally gringo thing to do.
Oh,
That's my biggest problem with Spanish, is putting in the things that get you to the word that you're trying to, you
yeah.
know,
The
structure
de
of it.
los, L,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
S, or
they use a completely other word
too
to
wordy.
show.
Too wordy. They get too wordy, and then.
Well, you know, I used to have this Spanish theory where, and I would contrast it to English. In English, we tend to give more reverence to people that have an extended vocabulary, and I don't know why, because we have a lot of people in this world that spend too much time trying to say a very
Showing
specific
off.
thing.
Yeah.
They're using language that you don't understand almost intentionally, but for some reason in our culture we give a lot of merit to that, like, oh, that guy must be really intelligent.
Oh, yeah, he's
Right?
got a good
Philosopher.
Yeah,
vocabulary.
because I don't understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
In Spanish, I've always felt like a sign of real intelligence in this culture is how short you can make a sentence and still have it have the same meaning.
Right.
Right?
Right, and they have so many words to have the same meaning. But
Well,
it's like
you see it.
everybody-
You see it. You go into some small, lower educated culture, and there's just verbose, just words everywhere. And you go into the workplace, into some manager's room, and he can say the same thing in like 4 words.
Well, that's what it shows. How about our president? He has no vocabulary.
Right.
One of the examples.
And the other thing about him, now you notice the press. Okay, they get their buzzwords going, and everything is one word. Now they're doing the quid pro quo bullshit.
Right.
And every word and every news thing is quid pro quo. I said to my husband,
It's all talking points.
what exactly is quid pro quo? Can't they just use what
This for that.
everybody understands? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just this for that.
Yeah.
This
Do
for
this,
that.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Quid pro quo. That's,
Yeah. But uneducated people don't know what it is.
I saw a
Just
clip
because
of
you
the
asked-
president trying to say, oh, now I can't do it. Quid
Well, do
pro
you remember
quo.
when-
Yeah.
remember when
And he
was-
stumbled like I just did.
Yeah.
And some commentators like, dude, you can barely speak English. Why would you try and speak Latin?
Do you remember
Yeah.
when he was talking about the oranges of something or other?
Oh, that was
The what?
great. The oranges of
Three times he said the same
Orange.
thing.
Well,
when
you
he
know,
meant
I didn't have
origin.
TV for
He was-
oranges.
He meant origin.
He was trying to say origins. The
I
origins
thought you
of.
said oranges.
That's
No,
what he
he
said.
did say
Oh,
oranges.
well, you know what? We hardly had any TV the whole summer, from the time we left August 15th, because then 2 days after I got into the trailer, I bought this little TP Link to boost the internet in the parks.
Oh, yeah.
It worked fine. So anyway, we get in the car, we get in, I hook up the TV, I get it all set up. We watched it one night, and the next day we turned on the TV and it wasn't. The TV was gone, blown. So my husband took
What
it
do you
all
mean?
off. The TV didn't work anymore.
Oh, so it wasn't anything you done. The TV you're
No.
using just decided to die.
Yeah. And I thought, okay, it's the batteries in the remote because it's sitting there. Now I took the batteries out, I switched them, put new batteries in. Nothing. I took the TV off the wall, and I'm wondering if it was this. In that trailer, the arm comes out, but when you put it back in for travel, it magnets on. And these two magnets are so powerful
Hmm.
I didn't
that
know
when you
that.
go to grab the TV, and I'm wondering when you go to grab the TV
It probably went.
off those magnets, something, I don't know. But anyway, we get to a campground.
Right.
The night before we had it perfect.
This is your TV
A little TV that was in the trailer.
that mounts with magnets.
Well, it's got like an arm that comes out,
Uh-huh.
and then for travel, you push it back against the wall, and it has these
A
two-
magnet to hold it back
two
there.
magnets. Oh my God, it's so powerful you can hardly get it off the wall.
So you think you might have broke the TV pulling it off the wall?
I don't know. I'm wondering if it's just, I don't know, understand why you wouldn't have like an articulating arm and then like a hook and eye thing that would go over to hold it back on the wall.
Well, I like the magnets. I mean, you
You,
shouldn't
uh,
be able to
They were
break
way too
equipment. but-
powerful.
Do you use magnets in the work that you do?
Well, in a way. Now, it's a good question because I come from a world, because I'm from a generation where you would never have magnets near any of the work that I would do.
Uh-huh.
But things have changed quite a bit now.
Well, I know a guy in Phoenix who's in the business, similar to yours. He installs huge, big sound systems and all this kind of stuff. And I was telling him about a door that I had at home, had no latch on it, but it wouldn't stay closed. So he said, well, I'll give you a couple little magnets, and you just put one there and one there, and when you close it, off you go. Well, they were so strong. They were just like the size of a dime,
Yeah.
about
That's
twice
what
as thick.
these are, like a quarter.
They were so freaking strong, you couldn't get them separated. It was just had to slide them off. You couldn't pull them apart.
Uh-huh.
And but they only worked in one direction. If you put them face to face,
Sure.
they latched onto each other. If you turn
Yeah.
them backwards,
They repel each other, yeah,
Uh-huh.
like a maglev
Right.
so with
train.
one on that door and one on that door, they're in repellent mode.
Well, I have one of those on my laundry room door, the little magnets you buy,
Yeah.
where one side is flat and the other side has like the two little.
Oh, okay, yeah.
My laundry doors will not stay closed, and I don't know how.
Probably just
If you
needs
can
adjustment. Yeah.
if you can adjust those things out.
Hey, Linda, you said you had some questions, but all you talked about was DNS and manual entries.
We started talking about DNS
So what's your questions though?
Was how many people don't know about DNS?
Oh, okay.
That was my
Maybe a question for when we have a bigger group.
I'm one.
right.
I've seen that DNS before, but I've no.
And now in Windows 10,
no
it's
connection
kind
to
of
it.
difficult to get.
To the settings to manually
Right,
set
I
DNSs.
Googled it, and so I've got it on a piece of paper now.
Well, and on
And-
the Telmex modems, if you have the latest modems, you can't change it. So you
Yeah.
can't go into the Telmex router and set your own DNS.
I just went in on, where you can control it on your laptop, where you've set up the whole thing.
Right,
I
right.
just changed them in there.
We-
But I don't know if that's gonna change them on my IPTV.
No, it shouldn't. That's the thing is that if you do it manually, you have to do it on each one of your devices. Whereas if you do it on your router, then each one of your devices uses that setting.
Well, they said that you could do it on your TV box, but I haven't found the place you do it on the TV box.
Somewhere in your TV box, you should be able to do it. I have an Android TV that allows me to set manual settings, and I've got my.
On a TV box?
But yeah, it's an
I wonder
Android
where
TV
it
box.
is.
It would be based on your version of the software you're using, but you'd go into your network connections at probably. Oh, now that I say this, I do this with a cabled connection. Is yours cabled or wireless?
Mine, you mean has a
Are you
cable.
Wi-Fi or cable?
No, I use cable. The
So-
one in the bedroom, the one in the living room that's plugged in too to the,
Well, I would just go into your network settings and look for a manual setting. So you go
on
from
each
automatic
box.
DHCP, go to manual, and then you put in your own IP address, you put in your own subnet mask, and then you put in your own DNS addresses. Yeah.
I wonder if I can find that in the box, because people, that's what I started to say. Some people that have mega cable are having issues.
So what I would do, what I think is probably a better solution, is encourage those people to get their own router and plug that router into the mega cable router, and don't use the mega cable router for anything but internet, and then their own
See,
router
that's
they
what
have
I
control over.
That's what I have.
See, in that router that you own, you can get in there and you can set any of those settings. You
I
can
have a
set
Buffalo.
Yeah, you can set your DNS settings there. You can set them to anything you want them
So
to
I
be.
have to go into the Buffalo router.
Well, when you do that, then everything that's connected to the Buffalo router uses those settings.
So not just going into your internet connection in your laptop where you originally have your network settings. I went in there and changed it.
So again, these are two different ways of doing this. When you go into the laptop, you've only changed the laptop.
That laptop.
When you go into the router, you've changed it for every device that connects to the router.
Okay, I'll go into the router then.
Yeah.
In
That's-
the Buffalo router.
Yeah, whatever your devices are connecting to,
Yeah. the
where
Buffalo
you're
router.
getting your IP addresses, where you're getting your DHCP, yeah, set that. Now, in terms of DNS, last season we talked about 1.1.1.1,
Right.
and they put out an application, and so I've been using this app on my Android devices, and it's just a one-button app. Turn it on, turn it off. And what it does, at first it would just set your DNS so you didn't have to do it yourself on that device. You could just hit, and it would do all the settings for you. So you didn't have to know where your network settings were. You just installed the app. And it worked beautifully. I had very few frustrations with it. Every once in a while, something wouldn't work right. Like I'm on my phone and maybe Facebook wouldn't come up. And religiously, I'd go to the app, I'd turn it off, I'd say, it had an option, turn it off for 15 minutes, so I'd say, turn it off for 15 minutes, then I'd get access to Facebook, and I'd think, okay, well, I'm not using 1.1.1, but at least I'm able to do what I was doing before, and eventually that got so dialed in, they added an encrypted channel for your data, and it was the same deal. Because the thing with the app, 1.1.1.1 is they're purporting to be not tracking your DNS lookups, and they're not making them available. So they don't record them. Like Prodigy or Telmex records them in a log, and then they use that information for advertising. They sell it as advertising information. 1.1.1.1 was Cloudflare, and one of the things they were saying is that we're not keeping this information, so it's not available to be given out. Then they said, and they made it an encrypted channel for your DNS lookups, which is very unusual, because normally your DNS lookups are out there in the clear, right? So that they can be read by anybody that's paying attention. And so they encrypted your DNS lookups. So you asking for a name address, even if they could hand that information to somebody, it would be just garbage because it would be encrypted. They wouldn't have the key. Then they added a VPN tunnel to that, all for free. So now all your data is going through an encrypted channel. Worked beautifully. Same experience. I'd turn it on, I'd have it on 90% of the time. Every once in a while something that I wanted to use wouldn't work. I'd turn it off for 15 minutes. I'd do what every normal person in the world is doing. Eventually the VPN would come back on and I'd be happy and I'd just go about my business until the next relative glitch. While they've had this version, they've been advertising a version called Warp. We're going to add Warp to this. And what Warp is, they're saying, is its own proprietary protocol for sending you internet information. And I suspect that the way Warp would work, Cloudflare is very much like Amazon Web Services. They are a business, they're a back-end business that provides cloud to applications. So like maybe Uber uses Cloudflare. Maybe Mercados Libre uses Cloudflare. Things like that. And so what I thought Warp is, what I believe Warp to be, is it is for their customers that are using them as their provider. They can get faster access to them. It's kind of like Netflix, where like, you know how Netflix, the reason we get good Netflix in Mexico is because Netflix put a physical box in Mexico near us so that we would have good Netflix. Cloudflare is the same way. They've got a physical box in those areas that their customers need access to.
I just leave Netflix on my computer, not on my TV at all.
Right.
So when I want to watch it, I just turn
But
it on.
you remember when you first started trying to use Netflix from down here, and it would buffer for long periods of time. The quality would be diminished. There'd be some content would pop up quickly, other content wouldn't. That was all resolved by putting the content physically closer to the customers, by paying for a box to be installed in a data center like a Telmex data center, so that it is physically closer to the customers that are trying to use it.
So if I access the one that I bought in Canada, do I get Canadian content?
No.
Or do I get
No,
Mexican
Mexican.
you get
content?
Mexican content. And there was a time when you could use a VPN to go to Canada so that you could get that Canadian content where Netflix was not filtering it, and that Netflix experience would be diminished.
Mm-hmm.
You'd get a poor quality and it would be harder to
Going
read.
from here to there to there to
Well,
there.
That's right.
This summer, somebody called me.
Wait, let me finish this.
Okay.
I'm almost done. That's just all background for what's happening now. This app that I have loved for about a year now has fallen apart since they've introduced Warp. And I've been watching it as it's just miserable. And at one point in the last couple of weeks, I just removed everything and tried some other software, which is miserable as well. I think it's getting better, but I am having to turn this app off all the time now, ever since they've implemented this Warp stuff. And things, I get emails saying that, I never got this before, I got emails saying, you're logging into Hotmail from Scotland. This looks suspicious. Facebook won't come up. I mean, just all kinds of and one day to the next, 1 hour to the next, it's a completely different experience. So if you're using 1.1.1.1, you're not the only one having problems. They just put out another update to the app. I don't think it's an app problem. I think it's an infrastructure problem. Maybe the app complements changes they made in the infrastructure. But I have removed it all and put it all back in and had the same experiences. I'm hoping it'll get good again. I'm sorry, I just need to bring that to a conclusion.
No. So somebody did call me this summer, I don't remember who it was, and they said, I had a VPN and I can't get Netflix now.
Yeah,
I said, I think that they have blocked all the VPNs,
they have.
and you can't do it on Amazon Prime either.
haven't
Because
had
I
any
tried to
problem.
put on Amazon Prime when we were in the States and I can't get it.
Oh, because you don't have US
if
Prime.
I don't have US Amazon. And a girlfriend of mine just asked me, she goes, well, when you get up here, you want to split Amazon? I said, yeah. I said, because I'm not paying $119 a year to get Amazon Prime. It's not worth it to me. So, but anyway, that's a story on Netflix.
Well, I watched a movie the other night on Scott's system.
Uh-huh.
Not a glitch. Didn't pause once. 2-hour movie or whatever.
Well, we watched the new season of Goliath. Are you watching it on Prime?
I have not started it. I haven't even watched the first season.
Oh my God, you gotta watch it.
I heard it's
Because
one of the
now in
best shows
season
nobody
3
watches.
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now in season
Wife's an
3,
insane Game
they're
of Thrones
bringing
fan.
people in.
Okay.
Okay, season 1, they did stuff. Season 2, they got mixed up with the cartel and all this. Okay, now season 3, Dennis Quaid is in it.
Oh, really?
And he is a big, like, farm owner, and he's controlling the water, and all these people don't have water. He's just crooked as heck. But now, all of a sudden, last night, we got into, I don't know, maybe we watched 3 or 4 episodes, and now people from the second season are filtering in.
Back into the show? That's interesting.
Right. Like this Spanish gal who became a mayor of this town. She's really crooked, but she had an affair with him in the second season. But now she's all of a sudden he's at this thing at Dennis Quaid's house, and she shows up. So it's all kind of intertwined. So you really have to watch it from the beginning, but it's really good.
Well,
But yeah,
that's a good recommendation.
He's a drunk. and-
I've seen blog posts, I've heard reviewers talk about how it's the best show that
it is.
nobody's watching.
Right, it's the best show.
Is Game of Thrones contemporary or from some time in the past?
It's actually a fictional world
Yeah.
it's like a
In
Lord
the
of the
past.
Rings.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it's fantasy. It's fantasy,
And
it's
it's-
dragons, it's
Yeah,
kings.
yeah,
Yeah.
not for me.
Not
It's-
for me either. When I see things flying through the air that don't
No.
belong in the world,
No.
that's all that I need to see.
Hey, I was poking around Viva San Carlos and I saw somebody posted free live streams. And I just wanted to make sure you guys are up to date on this. This USTVGo.tv
Yeah.
seems to be working.
Freezes.
Oh, really? I had a great experience using it.
Oh. It was that USTV 247 or whatever.
Yeah, and it's changed to this
Right.
now. Yeah, so I just want to mention that real quick. There's sports24.club. I know nothing about sports. Have you tried that?
About that? No.
No. GoStream.site.
Yes.
That looked really
You're
good.
talking about Ghost?
No,
Oh,
GoStream.site.
Go Stream.
And
No.
this is where you would go for like a catalog of movies. Again, you got to do it through a web browser.
I got so many movies now. And you can go to Ghost.
Ghost?
Yeah.
What is Ghost?
I'll have to bring the numbers in because Ghost is a movie thing, but there's no. You know how when you do a lot of the movies and you get in there and they've got all this advertising and they get the nudes on there and.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well this doesn't have anything. You can go right to the movie.
Well, I've been using
Ghost,
Kodi
and
for
it
so
looks
long
like
now.
a ghost.
Okay.
I've
Ghost.
seen the
I'm not
icon.
familiar with it.
So you have to get the.
Ghost
Yeah.
streaming. It's a website, right? Or is it an app?
Well, actually, I have it on my IPTV now. Yeah, it's like an app.
Okay. I'm still using Kodi. I'm pretty happy with Kodi.
Oh, I'm not using it.
Yeah, with Exodus Redux.
No, I'm not using it because the IPTV service I have
Yeah.
has the movies as soon as they come out in the movie theater.
A lot of times they're not even in there's the captions on the bottom from some other language that.
Yeah, the problem is down here they're all in Spanish, like UFC. The UFC and everything, it's all in Spanish.
The first time I watched The Star Is Born, it was in Chinese writing at the bottom.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Chinese
well,
or-
they're
I've
bringing
done
them
a
in.
couple of movies like that myself.
Well, that IPTV, a lot of that services, like mine, it's buried somewhere in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
you know, so.
And that's the only reason we have
Now,
it. is
we've been
'cause they
having a
can't-
bunch of freezing and a bunch of repeating in the last week, and I'm wondering if it's because, you know, how many people that Dish Network has gotten. And I flat out tell everybody that I have 65 people now.
Did you see the Apple TV announcement? The
Yeah.
Apple TV Plus?
Yeah, I don't want to pay for that.
Are your,
Well, they don't want you to. If you buy an Apple device, you get it for free for a year.
yeah.
And
good
then
deal.
and then when they release it, they're going to release it
Yeah,
for
but it's like
$4.99 a
everything
month.
else. It's like everything. It's like Roku. Everything you pay for everything,
Except
now.
it's free.
except for it's free.
Well,
Anyway, what were you gonna ask me?
what the Apple TV stuff is? They're becoming their own studio though. That's all original content. They didn't
Yeah.
announce anything
Well,
that
that's
they
kind
have.
of like I mean, that's kind of like Amazon.
Yeah, or
The
Netflix.
stick.
The customers that you have on
Yeah.
your service, are they all over the place? Like all over San Carlos?
Oh yeah, they're all over here. I have
There-
3 or 4 in Toronto,
Oh, really?
and that come here.
Mhm.
And then she got her son,
And they
her
take it with them when
brother-in-law.
they go-
Yeah, and I just
Yeah.
switch them.
Mhm.
Switch it from Mexico to Canada. That's a security thing. But now they've got all countries, so I just put on all countries now, so they can go back and forth.
And what does
then-
that cost them per month?
It's not per month. I charge $60 a year.
Oh, it's the annual.
That's it, a yearly fee, and you buy the box. And we got the new box, the T3. It's 4K. It's fast. It's got 5G in it. It's, you know.
Clickety-splickety.
But I ask people when they're going to buy it, and I have them buy it from this one place.
Hold on. What do you
that's
mean that it has 5G
Canadian.
in it?
Well, instead of just 2G and 5G.
Oh, okay. You're talking about Wi-Fi
Yeah.
radios.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then I ask people though what kind of TV, because if you don't have, you know, HD TV and a smart TV, if you just got a plain old TV, why spend the money on a box that's got all this stuff? Just they've got boxes that are lower. And I just ask people that. But yeah, I got a lot of people.
Hey, I did come with some
And
topics.
I worry too.
I've got 2 that I thought were really funny this morning, that I thought I would just spit out that you guys would appreciate. Well, no, 2 that I thought were really interesting. One I thought was really funny. One that I thought was really funny is Russian man sues Apple for allegedly turning him gay.
With an
Well,
apple.
that happens every day.
With an apple?
In Russia, I'll post the link on the website if you're interested. I read through it though, and apparently some free app offered him some gay crypto coin. I mean, like they've got some name of it that implies that it's for. We'll call it done. We'll end on the Russian gay Apple suit and say this club meeting is adjourned until next week. And next Tuesday, 9:15, we'll meet again here at Tequilas with a bigger group because we're right at the beginning of our season. So we expect to see more new faces.
I know I didn't need a jacket, but I needed the extra pockets, so I took it anyway. See ya next
Yeah.
time, or drop by if you feel like it.
I will. I'll stop by as soon as I got a free moment, Gary. So again, this is Scott Stimson from International Computer Solutions coming to you from Tequilas on a Tuesday morning, having our San Carlos Computer Club. We've just adjourned. If you are in San Carlos, Mexico, and you're looking for some good food and a place that has great Wi-Fi, come by Tequilas. I get nothing for saying that except mutual respect. They give us a really nice place to have our meetings and good table service. If you've got computer issues anywhere on the internet, I'd appreciate you getting a hold of me at internationalcs.net. That's Scott at internationalcs.net. I'd be happy to help you with any problems. If you're local, you can check out our office. Give us a call at 226-0209 or our website at internationalcs.net. If you enjoyed this video and are looking for more of what we do as a club, I maintain a blog for us at scclub.org. You can always go there and see the latest stuff on scclub.org. That's San Carlos Computer Club.org. Until next Tuesday, tech on.